Hey guys, welcome back to NA Turbo. So I thought I'd do a bit of a startup video on the cars today, just as it's a very misty and murky day, and they've been still for sort of a week or so. So I was just checking battery connections and water on old Hannibal. So let's see if he'll start, if I could take you around without making you feel too sick. I'm sort of old schooling it today without any gimbal or mic, so hopefully you can hear me. So let's climb in. Leather, very cold. Oops, excuse my fingers over the lens. Right, and my shaky camera angle. Let's see how he starts up. Okay. Oh, apologies, fingers again. And there we go. Straight up. So, yeah, I just like to give them a run every so often if I'm not actually driving them. Just so that it keeps things, water circulating around the engine. I normally let the engine sort of get up to temperature before I switch them off. But yeah, starts on the button. As you would expect, that's the benefit of fuel injection for you. Cars like the Renault and other cars on the fleet like the Hillman do take some cranking when they've been still for a while, as the tends to be the modern fuels. I'm not so sure if it was like that in the day, but because they run carburetors, the modern fuels tend to sort of evaporate and drain back to the tank more, so it tends to take even a little while of cranking just to get the fuel back up to the carburetors before they'll start. But yeah, so that's old Hannibal. Let's jump out now and see if we can get Corrado the Corrado going. I've put his battery back on because he did used to have a battery drain, but since they've changed out the central locking, that seems to have actually stopped. But if I'm leaving them for any period of time, I tend to take that off anyway, so I've just connected the battery back up again, and also sometimes the terminal on this particular terminal here, it doesn't always tighten up, so it doesn't like to start. But if I can get the keys from whichever pocket I've put them in, let's see if he'll start. If we can take you around again. It's been a couple of weeks since I started him, but hopefully you should all be good. Let's climb in without making you too sick. Slide into the bucket seats. Right, let's see if we've got ignition lights, shall we? Ignition lights, that's good. Let's crank. No, so yeah, again, it needs some fiddling around with the battery terminals. I'm just going to leave you here a second and I'll be back once I've given them a tight. Right, welcome back, folks. Well, that went well. I can't find my jump leads. I think they have been borrowed and not been put back. So just for the moment, I've got the battery charger on it just to hopefully give it enough oomph just to kick it over. This battery was extremely cheap and it has been discharged quite a few times with the central locking, one of these Lion ones, I think it is. So I think the new year time, it will be new battery time. And get something decent. I'll probably get, I forget what it is, but the same brand that's on Hannibal there, because he's been stood for 2 weeks now as well. It just fires straight up. But I thought I'd take this time just to show you some of the bits for the Corrado that I've started collecting that are now conveniently being housed in Hannibal's boot. Because if you followed, I have said that the Corrado is going to have some work done, hopefully sort of February, March next year, in terms of mechanical work. So there's a low mileage gearbox off a 60,000 mile car to go on. The one that's on it now has done God knows how many miles, and was just part of all the spares when I bought it, because if you followed us, this car was a broken automatic when I bought it, and we converted it to a manual. So the previous owner had quite a few bits just sort of laying around, including the gearbox, which was off his Golf VR6, because the Corrado front end, it shares a lot with the Mark III Golf, so we just sort of slapped that one onto proof of concept and get it on the road, and it's been on for 30,000 miles, and he's extremely sloppy. The diff whines in it like buggery, so it's time for a change. So hopefully Martin the mechanic's going to put that on for me. It's also got a head gasket weep, so he's going to change the head gasket for me. And whilst I'm in there, because of where it is, the VR6 runs hydraulic tappets like these, which basically is a normal lifter but uses the oil pressure from the engine to pump up. So Martin's going to be in there replacing it. So they do tap on mine, on Rado, ever so slightly because of the age they are now. They've never been replaced, so it's time for new ones of those. So that's one of old Hannibal's present holding for us at the moment. And then if I can move my crap out of the way, in here we have got a full headset, German headset from Victor Reiners, which I've took my brother's advice and they're supposed to be very good. So it's got a full headset with head gasket, all the shields and exhaust bits, and also important thing which is under there, which is head bolts. So that's package 2 for old Rado over there, and then arrived this week, which took me a while to get because Febi have had, like a lot of companies, supply issues. This is actually a timing chain kit because the Corrados run a timing chain rather than belt scenario, and it's the original. And so this car's now done 140,000 miles, so sense would say you're having the engine apart, it's best to replace it all. So yeah, we've got all the runners in there as well. So that's the runners and guides that it runs on. You've also got the chains that are in the box, I won't get them out, and the idler there as well. So Martin will very kindly all put that on for us, but that's just currently stored in Hannibal's boot for the moment. So he's going to get quite a lot of TLC hopefully next year, once hopefully I have the funds to do it. So yeah, sort of take you back around to the engine again without making you too sick. Yeah, the head gasket you might not be able to see, but if I pan you down, it's weeping out of that corner there. So it's head gasket failure on a VR6 can be quite common. They do run very hot because essentially you've got a 6-cylinder 2.9 litre engine in quite a small engine bay, so they do tend to run quite hot, and that can be what actually cooks them. And I think just over the years that's what's happened to this one. So it's never been apart before, so that's going to be done. As I say, new lifters in it. I'll send the head away to be skimmed and checked as well, as I did with Hannibal's one over there. We've got a very good engineering company locally, T&L Engineering, who do brilliant work, so I'll get them to have a look and skim it over. But hopefully I'll come back to you in a few moments when we've got enough juice in Hannibal to try and start him. So sorry, in the Corrado. So yeah, join us again in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back. So I've had the battery charger on it for a little bit. Won't have given it loads, but let's just see if it's got enough to kick it over. Yes, there we go. That was just enough. The backfiring you heard was because on its previous cranking it had dumped a load of fuel into the exhaust. But yeah, if we come round, it was just enough to kick her over. But as you can probably hear, what I was talking about is that you can hear the tappets. So the hydraulic tappets are a bit loud, and that's because the oil seals in them are not as good, so it's not pumping them up as much. But yeah, that'll hopefully all be changed. So we've got those two running as a fleet. Might seem strange, but I've cycled old Hannibal's air conditioning, because you're supposed to cycle them probably about 10 minutes or so every so often. And Ryan has got the old 21 fired up. So yeah, the fleet is running. Well, I shall leave you all with that now. I'm hoping to sort of do some more videos in professional mode very shortly with both the gimbal. Funnily enough, it works when you charge it up. And also the new Rode Wireless Go mic I've got. So I really want to try that out. But thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas, everybody, and see you all soon.